myself? Well, yeah, since when have you become LeBron James?
That what we want to do today is about being able to calculate numbers, being able to solve problems on standard form without the use of calculator. Without the use of calculator. So maybe for now we can quickly run through our slides in a bit. Let's run through the slides in a bit so that we will see what we mean by standard form. Okay. So let's okay. So we are talking about being able to represent numbers in two parts. You have the number part. Most times, most teachers refer to it as integer, but it's not always an integer. Because it can also give you a decimal point. It can also give you a decimal number. And once it gives you a decimal number like that, you find out that it's not possible for us to be able to say it is an integer. An integer is a whole number, either positive or negative. And that is why we have to use numbers. Okay. All right. When you look at this, you understand that what you have here is 1,400, which can be written as 1.4 times 1,000. And 1,000 is a power of 10. So write it as 1,000. So you're going to write it as 10 raised to power 3. So your final answer will now be 1.4 times 10 raised to power 3. Okay. So when you have it in that format, what you are having is standard form. Now, what if you have a decimal number like you have on the screen still? What you have is 0.0005. And of course, you can see how we have translated it into 5 multiplied by 1 over 10,000. 1 over 10,000 multiplied by 5, which is the same thing as 5 over 10,000. You can write from decimal in terms of fraction. And when you have it in fraction form, it will give you 5 times 1 over 10,000. Okay, so 1 over 10,000, you can see it split into 10 multiplied by itself 4 times. Of course, we've done this under indices, which will give you 1 over 10 raised to power 4. 1 over 10 raised to power 4. In indices, I already explained to you that when you have 1 over a particular number like that, the power will now carry a negative value. So it will now become 10 raised to power minus 4. 10 raised to power minus 4. So having seen 10 raised to power minus 4 now, that is when you can now say 5 times 10 raised to power minus 4. 5 times 10 raised to power minus 4. 5 times 10 raised to power minus 4. Okay, let's come back to the board. There are things I want you to write down. Let's come back to the board. Okay, so from the board, what you are going to have is when you have a times 10 raised to power n, this is a number. These are powers of 10. N represent the power. And then you have your 10 here. So this number can be from 1, between 1 and 10. Number between 1 and 10. 1 and 10. Between, underline. It must not be exactly 10. It's between 1 and 10. So it can be 1.0 to 1.1, 1.01. It can be a number in that format, and then you have it up to 10. And another thing you need to note is that when the power of 0 is going towards the right, when the power of 0 is going towards the right, it will give you a positive value. When the power of 0 is going towards the right, it gives you a positive value. You see plus there. But when the power of 0 is going towards the left, this will give you a negative value. You have to understand these two, and I'm going to demonstrate that to just 2 examples. Okay, I talked about 1400. Now you can see the power of 0 here is increasing in this format. Now the technicality of this means that when you want to write this in standard form, you are going to shift your decimal points towards the left. The power of 0 is increasing towards the right here. As you can see, the 0 is increasing towards the right. That's why it's a positive value. So when you want to write it in standard form, you are going to shift the decimal point backwards. You are going to shift the decimal point backwards. So, and you must leave a particular number before the decimal point. So if I move my decimal point from here, because this is a whole number, if I move my decimal point from here, I move it the first time, the second time, and the third time. So 1, 2, 3. Now these numbers that I've written on this curve represent the power to which my 10 will be raised. So when I want to write this now, my decimal point will rest here. So it will be 1.4 times 10. Now I've raised the power of 10 to this number of times I moved my decimal point away from here. So it's going to be times 10 raised to power 3. So this, when I'm writing 1400 as a standard form, this is what I'm expected to have. This is what I'm expected to have. And as well, if I want to talk about 0.0005, when I have this, you can see the power of 0 is increasing towards the left here. The power of 0 is increasing towards the left. So if I want to write it, I will have to shift my decimal point away from this place. So the technicality of this is that don't confuse your right and your left. First, study the number you have. In which way is the power of 0 increasing? If it is towards the right, then the power of your 10 should carry a positive value, which means ordinary number like this, which is 3. But if the power of 0 is increasing towards the side, if the power of 0 is increasing towards this side, by the time you want to write the power of 10, it should carry a negative value. So what you are going to have is shifting your decimal point away. This time 1, 2, 3, 4, because you have to make sure that there is a number before the decimal point. So you have shifted it 1, 2, 3, and 4 times. So what I'm expected to write here will be 5.0, because there is nothing after this one. So just write 5. You can decide to write it as 5, doesn't really matter. So let's just leave it at 5, then times 10 raised to power. The number of times I've shifted is -4, because you can see it that the power of 0 is increasing towards the left. So this is what you have for this. So those are the technicalities you need to understand. When the power of 0 is increasing towards the right, it is a positive number. When it is increasing towards the left, it's a negative number. Okay, so from here we can return to the screen. Let's have some things to discuss also on the screen as a follow-up to what we have here. As a follow-up to what we have here. Don't get confused about it. Now, another thing you need to understand is that when your power of 0 is increasing towards the right, you shift your decimal points to the left. If the power of 0 is increasing towards the right, you shift your decimal point to the left. But if the power of 0 is increasing towards the left, you shift your decimal points to the right. So I can use this as an arrow to show that I'm going away from the right to the left. And then I can use this as an arrow to show that I'm going away from the left to the right. So you have this. Okay, so do this one sometimes. Okay. Okay, so just let's mute all. Okay, that's okay. Okay, so I can go. I can go back to the screen, to the slide. My slide, yeah. My slide. This one is also open. Yeah, it's already open, I guess. Was it closed? Yeah, 7.1 plus. I think it's closed now. Okay. So, okay. Let's share it. No, the problem is not. Okay, now we can share it. Okay. All right, thanks. All right, we're back here now. Okay, so let us quickly go over it in a way. Yeah. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so we've done all this already. Okay, so I've shown you this, and then you understand what I talked about. So 700 can be written as 7 times 100, which is 7 times 10 times 10. You have 7 times 10 raised to the power 2. Okay, now concentrating on this next one. All right, let's talk about this now. So we have this as our first set of activity to do today, and everybody is going to participate. So when we are asked to write numbers in standard form, based on what we have done so far, how should we write 4,000? Based on what we have done so far, how should we write 4,000 in standard form? Okay. All right. Okay, so we have our answers here shown. Okay. So what do you think you have number one, I think some people already solved it. Okay, so what I have is 4 times 10 raised to power 3, which should be correct in your own book if you have done it well. And then for 500, of course, we're going to have 5 times 10 raised to power 2. So if that is correct with what you have done, good, we can move to the next one. I want to believe you are also solving. I want to believe you're also solving. So get your notes and all right. Okay, so like we discussed last class, don't forget to write your name in the chat section so that we'll confirm your attendance of this class. And peradventure, you anyone could not meet up with the class, you have to go on YouTube, watch the video, and comment on it with your name that you have already watched. You did not attend the class, or probably the network was unstable and you were unable to write your name. Make sure that you are able to connect or comment on the comment section on YouTube. And if you have anyone who could not attend the class, you can also tell them so that we know that you actually attended the class and you watched. Okay, so I move on now to number 3 answer, and then I have this. Okay, so I want to speed up to number 10. Let me see who already has all the answers there. Okay. Okay. And then I have number 10. So we have the remaining 4 questions. So I want to wait for 2 or 3 people to be able to speed up. Probably someone will have an answer of what to write. When we talk about 0.000055. Okay. So let's see what it will be. If you have done it, just hold on while I click on the answer to confirm what you have in your notes. So I'll just give you like 1 minute or 1 minute 30 seconds to finish the rest. I don't want to believe you have problem with this topic because we have done part of it as activity while in class, before now. So it was easy for us to go through it and get all this done. So by now, I want to do number 11. Let's see who will get it correct. So we have the answer to number 11. Okay, what do you think the answer to number 12 will be? All right. So this is the answer to number 12. Now, if you look at the question number 13, it says that Avogadro's number is 602.300.000.000.000. You count all the zeros there. And then it said express this in standard form. Okay. So you just count. You can see the power of zeros increase to the right, which means it is going to be a positive. Then you move your decimal point from the last 0, you move it backwards. And you count the number of steps to move backward, that is towards the left. And then you make sure that you let your decimal point rest in front of 6. So what I'm expecting you to write as your answer will be 6.02 times 10 raised to power something. 6.02 times 10 raised to power something. So I'll wait for you to get that power of 10 because that is of most important points that you need to make. The most important point you need to make there is 6.02. That's part of the answer times 10 raised to power. So Let's see who will get the answer. The number of power of tens you are able to raise it up to. I think someone is murmuring something. Okay, so let's check it.
Drop your answer inside the chat.
Okay, so let me see how many of you can drop the answer in the chat section, so that I will follow. I want to follow up on the chat. Let me see how many of you will drop the answer in the chat section. 6.002. Okay. Somebody wrote 6.023. Okay. Times 10 raised to power. Okay. All right. Moshood, good one. Moshood, that's good. Tonti, you have to stop all this. I don't like that. Concentrate on the class. Tonti. And Demola, you two have to concentrate on the class. This is not what you're supposed to be doing in this chat section. Okay, 21 is not a correct answer. It's not 10 raised to power 21. Kausa Bello. Good. Let me have an answer. Kausa. Okay, I have 6.023 times 10 raised to power 23 from Moshood. Okay. Kausa, you say you don't know? Count the number of zeros up to the point of 6, up to the front. To the last number will be 6. So you would not count it up to 6. You stop when you get your decimal point to 6. Okay. Good. Read one. That's a good one. Read one. Okay. Sharif. Times 10 raised to power 23. Okay. So let's move on. I think majority of you are getting it. Yeah. Times 10 raised to power 23. Very correct. Good. All right. Adamaya. Am I right? Yeah. You are correct now. Please concentrate on the class. No side talk. I want everybody to concentrate on the class. Okay, so the answer will be 6.023 times 10 raised to power 23. Okay, 6.023 times 10 raised to power 23. Now, can we quickly do number 14 so that we move away from here? A certain virus is 0.00000000025 centimeter in diameter. Express this in standard form. Okay, so let me have the answer to number 14. Don't forget that the number of zeros is increasing towards the left, which means that's a negative, and then you have to shift your decimal point towards the right. So, and then you shift it until you get to the back of 2, not front of 2 now, the back, that is before 5. Your decimal point should be resting between 2 and 5, so that what you have is going to be 2.5. You should not have 25, that's wrong. And you should not have 0.25, it's also wrong. It should be 2.5. So your decimal point is resting between 2 and 5. Okay, so let's see how many number of times you have to move your zeros. And that will serve as, okay, I have somebody say raised to power minus 11, okay, minus 10, okay, we'll know which one is correct, minus 10, okay. Christian, you have to stop this. I said don't do anything that is not part of this class. Alima, I want you to concentrate on this. Concentrate on this. You will know what you have next later. 5.2, no, it's not going to be 5.2. Sheriff, it can be 5.2. And I said it should not be 25. I just mentioned it now. Your decimal point should be resting between 2 and 5. So what you should have is 2.5. Yes, 2.5. Yes, 2.5. Good. It's not 2.5 divided by 10. Daniel, it's not 2.5. You put comma, it's 2 points. It's a decimal point. And then Moshood, you still wrote 25. Okay, Sheriff, yes, that is 2.5. You're correct. Okay. Salma, that's good. Okay. Gozier, count well. Are you sure it's 11? I have someone saying minus 11. Say it. All right. It's not 10. Count. There should be a negative value. There should be a negative value. Say it. Okay, Lasisi, good one there. Mashoud, yes. Abdul Malik, I love that. Okay, good. Abibat, good. All right, I think we can now review the answer. Okay. All right, okay, I've seen it. Thank you. Rudwana, I've seen it. Okay, Nifemi, good. I still have to correct Aliyah. You wrote 2.5 times 10. You didn't put the power in 10, Aliyah. So please correct that. Okay, raised to power of minus 10. Okay, I think we can now move on because of our time. All right, so it should be 2.5 times 10 raised to power minus 10. Don't mind the screen. There was a typographical error on it. Okay. Now let's talk about calculation with standard form. I'm going to be a bit fast from here. So probably if I'm too fast for you, you have to go back on YouTube and check because I need to conclude this class. Now there are 3 things we need to work out. Anytime you are working on standard form numbers, what you are going to do is work out the powers of 10 separately, then work out the number calculation also separately, and then ensure that you combine the answer in such a way that you have it in form of, you have it in standard form. So this example is saying that we should multiply 2 numbers. When you are to multiply 2 numbers, 4 times 10 raised to power minus 4, you are multiplying it by 2 times 10 raised to power 3. 4 times 10 raised to power 4, you are multiplying it by 2 times 10 raised to power 3. Now, what we are going to do is the powers of 10 separately, using our knowledge of indices. 10 raised to power 4 multiplied by 10 raised to power 3. You know what you are going to do? The answer should give you 10 raised to power 7 because you are going to add the powers when it is multiplication. That is the rule of indices, and it applies to any number that is raised to any particular power. So you have 10 raised to power 4 multiplied by 10 raised to power 3, and that will give you 10 raised to power 7. But the ordinary numbers we have attached to it, that is 4 and then 2. You are also going to multiply them separately. So 4 times 2 will give you what? 4 times 2 will give you 8. So when you have 4 times 2 giving you 8, then that will be 8 multiplied by the earlier answer you already got, which is 10 raised to power 7. And then let's also work it all together. You can see what we have here. And then you can see this 4 times 2, which is 8. Then we can combine our answer in this format. 8 times 10 raised to power 7. 8 times 10 raised to power 7. 8 times 10 raised to power 7. So that is when you are given 2 different standard form numbers and you are asked to multiply or divide them. The way you are going to do it is you are going to solve the power separately, solve the number separately, and then combine your answer in such a way that it will give you a standard form. And that is what we have done on the screen. All right. So let us use this idea to also go ahead and see. And you can see that from my screen, you can see that the top left hand side, the calculator, there was an X on the calculator, which means you are not expected to use calculator. You are not expected to use calculator. All these questions are very simple. And the way that it will be easier for you to get it done is what I'm explaining. So I want you to concentrate. I want you to concentrate. Most of you are busy chatting. You are supposed to be taking notes now. So please concentrate on this. So you have this. We are multiplying 8 times 10 raised to power 5 by 7 times 10 raised to power 4. Of course, we are going to do the power separately, and you have seen what we arrived at. 5 and 4 added together is what gives us 9. Then you are going to do the multiplication of 7 and 8, which gives you 56.
And here said this, sir, I thought there's supposed to be a bracket. Where?
Yeah, we can actually separate it with a bracket. We can actually separate it with a bracket. What you are trying to say, I understand. Let me show you on the screen here. What you are trying to say is this. Okay. So what you are trying to say is that I should separate it with a bracket, something like this, and then you have this, something like this. Okay. Okay, so when you have something like this, then you have this, and then you have this. All right, you have this. Okay, this is what you are trying to say, that it should be in a bracket. It can be like that, doesn't matter. Okay, so when you have it like this, 8 times 10 raised to power 5 in a bracket multiplied by 7 times 10 raised to power 4 in a bracket. It's good, but at the end of the day, you understand that they are two separate numbers. So when you have it in a bracket, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, you are going to remove the brackets. So that is just it. So mathematically, the bracket is just to properly group it so that it won't be confusing. It's not that it must continually be a bracket. It doesn't matter. It can be in a bracket, it might not be in a bracket. You understand that the standard form is a number multiplied by power of 10. So that's a separate number on its own, and another number multiplied by power of 10, which is a separate number. So if it is separated by bracket or not, all you need to do is get it sorted properly. All right. The bracket is just to guide you, to tell you that they are different numbers. So it's a convention, but it's not an important this thing. Okay, so you have this. Now, this number now, you need to understand that this number, you cannot leave it as your final answer. You cannot leave this number as your final answer. You cannot leave this number as your, why is it that you cannot leave it as your final answer? The reason is because 56 is much to be left. Don't forget the rule that we set at the beginning of the class. For standard form, it must be a whole number before the decimal point, and then, but what you have here is tens and units, which is more. You just need a number between 1 and 10, between, and what you have here is more than 10. So it's not possible for us to have such. So it means that we have to create an additional 10 to cater for the 56. That means we are shifting our decimal point from the front of 6 to the back of 6. That means a decimal point must exist between 5 and 6. So what you are going to have at the end of the day means the power of 10 will increase by 1. The power of 10 must increase by 1. So at the end of the day, what you have is 5.6 times 10 raised to power 10. The power of 10 is increasing from 9 to 10 because it is increasing by 1. All right. So finally, that is what we have as our answer to this question when we are multiplying. Okay, so let's do this. Or probably someone will want to check again. Let me just leave it like this so that you can understand yourself. You can go through it from the question to the solution. From the question to the solution. Okay, so let's move on now. Now, checking this one. 9 times 10 raised to power 5 divided by 3 times 10 raised to power 2. 9 times 10 raised to power 5 is a number on its own. 3 times 10 raised to power 2 is another number on its own. And division is what connect the two numbers together, the two standard form numbers. So what are we going to do? Separately, the power of 10 has to be taken care of. 10 raised to power 5 divided by 10 raised to power 2. And then what you are going to have is 10 raised to power 3. Because when you are dividing the powers of 10, you have to subtract. When you are dividing the tens, you have to subtract their power. And then for this one, you have this. Okay, 9 divided by 3 is 3. So you can combine your answers now. And that will give you 3 times 10 raised to power 3. 3 times 10 raised to power 3. Okay, 3 times 10 raised to power 3. Now, you can also write it this way. Look at this one, even makes it looks beautiful. All right. So you have this, and then you can get your answer like this, 9 over 3. You can see how we are solving it separately. So when you cancel common factors, okay, and you apply index law of division, don't forget that. So this will give you what you're talking about, which is 3 times 10 raised to power 3. So I'm going to pause for a few seconds here so that you can also check. The second part is to show another way you can get it done when it is division. All right. Okay, so let's move on from here. If you will need to check this again, please go on YouTube and confirm all these solutions there. Take your time to walk it through step by step. All right. This is another division. This is another division. 1.8 times 10 raised to power 6. We are dividing it by 6 times 10 raised to power 4. And of course, we have this. And then we have this. Now, you wonder what happened to your 1.8 and 6, because you cannot divide 6 by 1.8. You cannot divide 1.8 by 6 unless it is 18 to get a whole number division. So we have to reduce the power of 10 in the numerator by 1, so that when you multiply 1.8 by 10, you will get 18, and that is what you have here. So the power of 10 has reduced by 1. That's why we have from 6 comes to 5. So it will be easier for you to deal with it this way. To be easier for you to deal with it this way, and then you have your answer: 3 times 10 raised to power 2. 3 times 10 raised to power 2. Okay. Now I want you to try this. By God's grace, I'm going to show you the answer to the first 5, only the first 5, so that you can try the remaining on your own. So this is where we're going to stop now because of our time, but I will expect you to do the first 5 probably in just 2 minutes. Try the first 5, maybe just in 2 minutes. Let's see what you can come up with. And you can see the way it is written. The number 1 question was given as an ordinary number. So it means number 1 thing you need to do is to convert it to standard form. You convert it to standard form, then you multiply it together, then you get your answer back in standard form. So 5,000 will be 5 times 10 raised to power 3. Then 3,000 will be 3 times 10 raised to power 3. Then when you get that done, 5 times 3 will give you 15. Then 10 times 10 raised to power 3 times 10 raised to power 3 will give you 10 raised to power 6. But 15 is also too much. You have to create a decimal point, which means your power of 10 will increase by 1. Okay. So what you are going to have is 1.5 times 10 raised to power 7. 1.5 times 10 raised to power 7. I believe someone is doing something. I will soon release the answer to the remaining 4. Then I will leave the others as an assignment. I'll leave the others as an assignment. But I want you to try the remaining 4. Another method you can use is multiply 5,000 by 3,000. When you get that, I think you should be able to get 15 million. And then when you now get 15 million, then you can now turn it back to standard form. The number of times you have to shift your decimal point, will be 7 times before 1. So you get 1.5 times 10 raised to the power 7. But the multiplication will always be a very long one. Before you can multiply 5,000 by 3,000 to get 15 million. So all you need to do is just to use standard form. Standard form reduces the stress. It reduces the stress of having to do multi-level calculation of all this long multiplication method. So that is the advantage. So you have to get used to it so that it can reduce your timing of solving questions like this. 60,000 multiplied by 5,000 is another big number. So you won't want to do all those multiplication one by one before you convert. So it will be easier for you to convert first, and then you'll be able to get your answer done. All right, so I'm moving to the second one now. My answer will be 3.0 times 10 raised to the power 8. And then number 3. 2.8 times 10 raised to the power minus 2. 2.8 times 10 raised to the power minus 2. Number 4, because of time, number 4 will be 7.0 times 10 raised to the power minus 8. 7.0 times 10 raised to the power minus 8. So I will wait for you. Number 5 is the last question I'm going to review, and then we are going to end the class. Don't forget that the remaining will be your assignment. The remaining is an assignment. The questions you have to try out by yourself and take your time about it. Take your time. Go through your textbook. For those of you that have the textbook, go through your textbook. When you get to page chapter 2, to be precise, for those of you that have the textbook, I understand some of you didn't pick your textbook along with you when you were leaving the school premises. If you check page 16, you see exercises that you can do on page 16. And of course, on page 17, you also see exercises that you can do. And of course, page 19, revision test 2. There are exercises, question number 7, question number 8, question number 7 and 8 to be precise. You can also try just to practice on the assignments already on the screen. I decided to give you this assignment, the one on the screen, because some of you didn't go home with your textbook. So if I give you a page and the exercise, you may not be able to get it. Though what you are supposed to do is for your friend to snap it and send it to the group. Really, because it's not all of you that didn't go home with your textbook. So for some of you that went home with the textbook, snap the page for the last class. Please snap those questions on those pages, send it to the group. Let those who don't have textbook copy directly from the textbook. That will help. That will help. All right. So the last question. Okay. Aliyah, you can talk. Aliyah.
I don't understand.
Which one?
So I don't understand. The ones with points.
I don't get. Talk loud. Which one did you not understand? Hello, you
like
can
the
talk.
ones with points, like number 3.
Okay, the number 3. Oh, okay.
The ones with points.
Okay, the one with points. Convert it to standard form
Yes,
first.
sir.
When you convert it to standard form, okay, what are you going to have? What are you going to have? 0.00007. What would that give you? When you turn your decimal point, how many times? 1, 2, 4, 5. That's 5 times. Is it not? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, let me just move that so you can understand. You would listen to me, I will explain everything to you. When you do that, you are going to get 7 times 10 raised to power minus 5. 7 times 10 raised to power minus 5. 7 times 10 raised to power minus 5. Okay, and then your 400, that will be 4 times 10 raised to power 2. 4 times 10 raised to power 2. So when you have 7 times 10 raised to power minus 5, 4 times 10 raised to power 2. Okay, I want to solve it on the screen for you. Okay, so what you are going to do is you are going to get at the end of the day 10 raised to power minus 5 and 10 raised to power 2 combined together will give you 10 raised to power minus 3. All right, 10 raised to power minus 3. But when you multiply 7 and 8, 7 and 4, you get 28. So that 28 is what will reduce the power of 10 from minus 3 back to minus 2, because you are going to have 2.8 times 10 raised to power minus 2. That is it. So you can listen through the YouTube, you get the explanation better. Thank you.